Hello everyone, Chalen Jackson, Compliance Officer and Key Account Specialist at Senior Marketing Specialists, today to talk about the Inflation Reduction Act Medicare drug price negotiations. So the day we're recording this, they just released the first 10 drugs under Part D eligible for price negotiation under the Inflation Reduction Act, and they have given us a list of based on the past 12 months basically. So June of 2022 to May of 2023, these 10 drugs were eligible for negotiation and had the highest total overall cost to the Part D program. I'm going to rattle them off real quick, and you'll probably see them beside me at some point, but they are Eliquis, Jardiance, Xarelto, Januvia, Farxiga, Entresto, Enbrel, Imbruvica, Stelara, and the family of drugs under FIASP, which includes things like Novolog, Novolog Flex Pens, and several other drugs in that diabetic family of medications. Grand total, we're talking about around $50.5 billion in total program costs to the Part D program, which is around 20% of total Part D spending. So negotiations for these drugs will begin in the coming year and be wrapped up no later than the end of August, so we can get announcements of the final negotiated prices by September 1st, 2024. Now, that is pending several lawsuits that are currently going on in the courts over whether or not this process of negotiation is legal and constitutional, and several other challenges. CMS, as we can see, is proceeding without haste to continue with these negotiations. It looks like they are planning on winning those lawsuits, but it may take some time to resolve those in the courts. Now, a couple other things to remember. Is this going to save your clients money anytime soon? Not necessarily. Even if all lawsuits are resolved, everything goes smoothly. The earliest that any of these price fixes would go into effect would be January of 2026, so looking at a couple years down the road. But what we can see is a really clear and concerning trend. For the medications on that list are primarily used to treat diabetes, 2 for blood clotting or treatment of other cardiothoracic issues, 1 for heart failure, 1 for blood cancers, and a couple for autoimmune disorders. The Eliquis, that of course really commonly used by a lot of your clients for treatment of blood clots and clotting issues, drastically outpaced any other drug on the list. Over $16 billion in Medicare Part D spending on that drug alone, which was more than double Januvia, the next most expensive program drug on the list. So again, by the time we have experienced a full year of the $2,000 cap on Part D out-of-pocket costs, they will start implementing these negotiated prices again after that goes into effect in 2026. So who's going to win? Who's going to actually save money once these negotiated rates are in place? Well, hopefully everyone. But at the end of the day, with that $2,000 cap, I suspect anyone currently on Eliquis or many of these other drugs will probably still be hitting that $2,000 cap. Primarily going to be a huge savings to the providers of Part D coverage, the carriers, who right now are on the hook for a significantly larger portion of drug spend than they used to be. So a lot of these discounts are going to benefit them as much as anyone. Could help us see some levelization in Part D plan premiums in the coming years as more and more drugs get added to that negotiation list and get phased in between now and the early 2030s. But again, big takeaway today, we do have this list of 10 drugs. Negotiations are set to begin soon. There will also be patient-centered listening sessions taking place in October and November, and a lot more information available on the HHS website and cms.gov. If you have any questions about anything we've covered today, please reach out to Senior Marketing Specialists. We would be happy to have a conversation with you about this or anything else that's on your mind.